I'm Sarah Bedford with the Washington Examiner, and I'm here today with Republican Senator Deb Fischer for a conversation about the Farm Bill. Senator Fischer, thank you so much for being here today.
A pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
To start off, for you, are there any red lines with regards to the Farm Bill in terms of things that need to be in it or things that need to be kept out that would potentially hold up your support of a version of the bill?
You know, what I'm looking for is a really strong bipartisan farm bill so we can have a lot of support for the programs that need to be in it. Agriculture is extremely important to the state of Nebraska. It is the economic engine of the state. So I am focused on a lot of different ag programs to be in there. Obviously, the safety nets, to be able to have crop insurance. That is number one priority that I hear from producers all across our state. I have a number of bills as well that I'm hoping to get in the Farm Bill. A couple deal with precision agriculture, which is all that really cool new technology that's out there that is so valuable to ag producers so they can have more information, so they can control the inputs that they use on their farm or ranch. And so their bottom line is more profitable for them. So we have a program that we'd like to create, a new USDA loan program for precision agriculture, and really hoping to target those small farmers so they can afford some of the technology. We have another bill, the Precise Act, that would expand what grants could be used for that come from the USDA to include precision agriculture. We have a bill that deals with disaster payments. We want to be able to get those payments out quicker to producers when they suffer from a major disaster. So we have a number of things in there. I guess you can say a red line would be if there's any kind of push to make conservation practices mandatory. You know, what I see in my state is that ag producers are the original conservationists, the good stewards of the land. They participate at a high number in these conservation programs, but we want to make sure that those are voluntary programs that ag producers can join into, participate in, and be able to use to improve their land.
What do you think should be done about SNAP benefits, about food aid? You know, we've seen increases in enrollment in SNAP programs that don't really correlate to the jobs market. You know, unemployment is very low, and there are conservatives who want to scale back enrollment, to scale back some of those exemptions that states can have in food aid programs. So what do you think should be done about food aid in this year's Farm Bill?
You know, the SNAP programs are extremely important. We want to make sure that people who need to have that assistance can benefit from it. I don't think we should be looking at increasing any kind of people who would qualify for these programs. I support those programs because they've been tailored to those who truly need it. You know, we want to make sure that we have children in this country who don't go hungry. We want to make sure that families with a single parent, with a single mother, that they're able to take care of their kids. Disabled, disadvantaged people. These programs were put in place for a reason, and it is to make sure that we recognize that there are people in need of food assistance at some time or another in their life, and it needs to be targeted for that.
Inflation is a problem for all Americans, but it's also hit the agricultural sector hard as well. Are there ways that the Farm Bill can fight the effects of inflation? And, you know, this is a bill that's only authorized every 5 years. Is there a risk of doing something now to combat the hopefully short-term problem of inflation that could make the bill maybe too costly in the long run?
Oh gosh, the way we're going to control inflation is to cut back on government spending. So when we look at the Farm Bill, we have to look at programs that work, that are of benefit, to ag producers and benefit to consumers here in our country, and make sure that those are the programs that we fund. We need to look at programs that don't work as well. So I'm looking forward to having a debate on those in committee to see which programs are brought forward, and really be able to control some of the spending that we have. Inflation is truly the number one issue I hear about as I travel the state of Nebraska. And believe me, I've been traveling all of August across the state. That's what we do every single August. And it's really a lot of worry out there. It's not just from ag producers. It's not just from rural communities. It's across the board in Nebraska, where people are seeing gas prices go up. They're worried about mortgage rates continue to rise. Just costs increasing across the board. And the way that we can control that at the government level, at the federal government level, is to get control of our own spending.
How big a role should climate change spending play in this bill? You know, we have heard some Democrats want to increase climate change, green energy programs in the farm legislation. Do you think this is the correct vehicle for that?
I think it's always important to have good conservation programs. Now, if you want to call those climate change, go ahead and call them climate change. But let's look at programs that have worked for a long time. We have in Nebraska 96-97% of our land in the state is owned by private ownership, private property. And these conservation programs that have helped with improving the management of our land here in the state have always been in effect. You know, I always have to laugh because with this focus on climate change, climate initiatives, I have a lot of people say, have you ever heard of no-till? And I'm just shocked that anybody would say that, because no-till is a practice that's been used in Nebraska for 50 years, 75 years, but it seems to be just hitting people's radar. So I want to be able to support programs that are proven to help producers be good stewards of the land.
Earlier, you mentioned the importance of crop insurance, and we've heard that from a range of lawmakers talking about how crucial it is to improve and expand access to crop insurance programs. Can you explain a little bit more to our audience why that's so important, what that accomplishes, and what sort of proposals are out there about improving crop insurance in the Farm Bill?
Sure. You know, crop insurance is extremely necessary. Farming is a high-risk business. You're very dependent upon Mother Nature. You know, when there's a drought, when there is flooding that goes through, when there is a blizzard that comes through, crop insurance is a way to help a producer mitigate some of those expenses. This isn't a program that is available to somebody who didn't sign up. I mean, you have to sign up for it. You have to make payments. And then if you are hailed out, if you have a crop that's hailed out, since you have paid for that insurance, you qualify for some of the insurance money to come back to you. It is not just money coming from the government to any producer who would happen to suffer hail damage or drought. These are funds that come to a producer only if they have taken out the insurance and made the payments. I think that's a point that many non-ag people don't quite understand. But it's an insurance program, just like you have insurance on your home. And we need to make sure that that's there, just because of the tremendous risks that are involved in farming and dealing with the uncertainties that are there.
What would you say to some conservatives in the House who have threatened to hold up passage of the Farm Bill to get, more significant cuts to food aid programs and address some other social issues in this package of legislation? What would you say to some sort of House hardliners who are threatening to hold up what is, a lot of lawmakers hope to be a bipartisan process?
I'd say to them, please don't do that. This is an extremely important bill. It's important for all of our states across this country. Every single state has agriculture, and to hold up an important bill like this is not the way to go about making some of the changes that some of the House members want to change. Let's get back to looking at this as a farm bill, to make sure that it is a bill that has strong bipartisan support, to make sure that it's a bill that's going to address the needs of food security for our country. That gets lost in the chatter that's in Washington a lot, where different issues try to surface in pieces of legislation where they shouldn't. So I would ask House members, and I would encourage my Senate colleagues, hey, come on, let's look at this as a farm bill. Let's look at this as food security. That is national security. I'm on Armed Services. I'm second in seniority on Armed Services Committee. And when we talk about national security, you better be sure that that includes food security as well.
Well, Senator Fischer, thank you so much for being here with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
To read more about the Farm Bill and other Capitol Hill news, visit washingtonexaminer.com.